People have been gushing about his talents since he first started participating in the NBA. He won the MVP title at the age of 19, making him the youngest NBA MVP in the history of the game. Here are what NBA players think of Luka Doncic and why they fear him. You see, nobody is able to stop the Luka Doncic train. He has already been dubbed the NBA's future face by fans. He's received a lot of praise from colleagues as well as NBA luminaries and Hall of Famers. How talented do you consider Luka Doncic to be? Let's compare your opinions with some of the NBA's top players' views. Be sure to watch the video because you won't believe what they had to say. One of the few players who could match Luka's level of intensity on the floor is Stephen Curry. For the last 8 years, Steph has altered how the game is played. In the 2021 playoffs, Steph was questioned about his feelings about playing the youthful phenom, and here's what he had to say. Dallas has been on a roll, but Luka has undoubtedly been putting up ridiculous numbers and doing what he does best. The way he concluded the series against the Suns was particularly impressive. Luka has displayed several traits comparable to that of Curry, such as his fierce scoring ability and desire to include other players. And Steph has actually hinted at it by expressing respect for Luka's game rather than directly saying it. He has shown it since his freshman year and has grown better. He's always in control, difficult to challenge, and simply incredibly polished. Who knows how high the potential is for him? Giannis Antetokounmpo is a player who is less comparable to Luka in terms of play style, but is undoubtedly just as unstoppable as him. The Greek freak was quite critical of Luka. He's really talented, one of the most talented guys I've ever played against. He can find his teammates and create his own shots. He has a very high IQ. We're all assembled to see what will undoubtedly be a close contest for the NBA's future face. LeBron James just appeared and disrupted the shop's 4th episode of the 5th season, and he briefly discussed Luka and his stature. He's a point guard who's 6 feet 8 inches tall, weighs 225 pounds. In addition to having the ball on a string, he also possesses excellent court vision. LeBron said that Luka is his best player in the league, adding to the accolades he already had for him, and that is what makes him so great. It's safe to say that being your favorite player is a fulfillment of a dream. Despite sitting out the whole 2019-2020 season, Kevin Durant is still one of Luka's favorite players. From the bleachers, KD saw Luka's magic personally, which prompted him to state that he likes his game a lot, but not much has happened since. The Mavs have a terrific person in him for the future because of his polish, talent, and ability to show that he has played professional basketball before. At that age, you hardly ever see men learning the pick and roll. He could manage the whole game if we were to manipulate it the way he does, which is unusual for someone so young. Therefore, I anticipate amazing things from him in the future and a great career for him. Young Luka's game has often been likened to James Harden across the league. Some of the similarities between the two stars' games include the fatal step back on passing and allowing players to play at their own speed. The Beard seems to concur with these analogies since, after taking on Doncic's Mavs in the regular season, he stated as much in an interview. He's never sped up by anybody and always succeeds in getting what he wants. That's unusual for a man his age and is his ability to rule the game and exert such complete control over it. He has a very bright future, and the Mavs are very lucky to have him. Trae Young is one athlete that will always be associated with Luka Doncic. The 2018 draft is conceived of Luka and Trae as they were highlights of the class, which was one of the most outstanding in recent memory. The fact that they were both swapped for one another makes the two more similar to other students in the class, and it's reasonable to assume that comparisons have continued ever since. Trae has been diplomatic about the matter, stating only that he never anticipated the analogies to be as widespread as they are now. I hate comparisons. I know it's a part of everybody's nature, and that's what we're going to do as basketball fans, but I don't like getting into it a lot. I feel like we have similar types of games. If I was 6'8", I'd be just like Luka. Our game, the pick and roll, being able to find people, to get the lob, to get to floaters or shoot. Though he's just 6'7" or 6'8", our games are pretty comparable. Now, despite being in separate conferences, they have been competing against one another often. The metrics now appear to favor Luka, but Trae is no slouch either. So maybe we can continue to battle at the top level for a while. This is a terrific narrative for the NBA to have. Another generational talent who, however, hasn't had the health level of Luka Doncic is Zion Williamson. Zion admires Luka a lot despite having a very different playing style from him. I think Luka is a great player. He's never trying things that I guess he can't do. He's always getting to his spots, creating for his teammates, and it shows. He's just a great player. You've got to respect that. We may see more of these young players competing against each other if Williamson can remain fit. Draymond Green has made it difficult for the offenses of other teams. Draymond is a game expert who is always aware of your team's strategies, strengths, and weaknesses. As a defender, your only goal is to make a guy do something that he doesn't want to do. If you can do that on the defensive end, you're going to be successful. With Luka, you kind of can't make him do what you want him to do. You can't speed him up. He goes at his own pace. Last year, he said that scoring in the NBA was simpler for him than in Europe, and everyone lost their mind. Like, how unkind is he? But he's shown it to be the case. It seems that Draymond will need to do a bit more research to understand Luka. Kawhi Leonard had a tremendous night against the Mavs after a spectacular Game 6 in which he matched his playoff career best of 45 points and was the main defender on Luka. He spoke of things about Luka Doncic in classic Kawhi fashion, short and astute. He's a great player. He battled every minute he was out there on the court, didn't back down, led his team in every way he could, and he did a hell of a job out there. Leonard said that Doncic continued to play a respectable game. He finished with 29 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds, but he's a very strong player who moves at his own speed. He said, all I could do was attempt to avoid letting him over the line by staying in front of him as much as I could while contesting his shots. He is adept at advancing to the foul line. Paul George, Kawhi's accomplice in crime, continued to show Doncic respect. They pushed us. They definitely got us war ready. It was a great team we played. An unbelievable superstar in Luka. You know they pushed us, they played really well, and they challenged us for real. Then PG continued, he's doing it, but he doesn't know he's doing it, if you get what I'm saying. He's still a baby, and he's got so much that he's going to grow, and it's going to be scary because when he fully figures it out and starts to really hit his prime, he is the future. It's safe to assume that NBA players are aware of their opponents. People have been taking notes as Luka has been on a tear. He should make the advancements required to become totally unstoppable and an NBA icon over the course of the next several years. For the young Slovenian prodigy, the sky is the limit once that level is unlocked. So what are your thoughts on Luka Doncic? Do you think he's good enough to be feared by NBA players, including Steph Curry? Leave a comment down below. And please don't forget to subscribe to Hooper's Lane and smash that bell icon to be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.